everybody. Welcome to the Run Eat Drink Podcast Friday Night Live. We're coming at you from the Run Eat Drink Podcast studios in sunny Southwest Florida. She's your host.
I am Amy,
and
your host.
And I'm your co-host, Dana. Welcome to our live stream. It has been it's been forever and a minute since we've done one. It feels like
forever and a minute.
A month of Sundays.
Well, Josh says, let the shenanigans begin.
We are shenanigan. We're in a shenanigan deficit here at the Run Eat Drink Podcast
because we've had a lack of shenanigans for how long?
Well, we've had
6
a lack
weeks?
of shenanigans. Well, no, I mean we missed out on the holiday that celebrates shenanigans.
Oh yes, St. Patrick's Day.
St. Patrick's Day. We completely missed out on that. We're gonna tell you guys all about that.
Not in gory detail though.
No. Okay, we're gonna tell you somewhat about it.
Yeah.
And we're going to catch up with all of you. So, please tell us who you are, where you're from,
and what you're drinking.
And what you're drinking tonight.
Yeah.
This is all about getting together, building the community, hanging out with one another, and talking about running, eating, drinking, and whatever else comes up in the course of the conversation over the hour.
That is true. John Schroeder and Josh and Rhonda Lee and Dawn is the first one that entered our chat here.
Wonderful.
Dawn, new Dawn. Nurse Shenanigator.
Nurse Shenanigator.
I love it.
I like that.
I love it. Welcome.
Yes. And we are, of course, it's not a Run Eat Drink Podcast live without us having a beer to talk about. And tonight we actually have two. It looks like we have four, but it's actually each of us decided we're going to do one of our own. So, what?
It's two of the same.
I know. We each get one of our own. We're not splitting. And look at this over here on YouTube. Trip Billy has joined in the chat.
Trip.
Hello, Trip.
It's so good to see everybody.
Welcome. Please drop a comment. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're drinking. We are going to be enjoying 2 beers tonight that were provided to us by members of the Runcation Nation.
I'm notifying them as we speak.
Excellent.
Yes.
Yeah, Amy's going to let them know we're trying your beer.
Yes.
We're trying your beer. Rhonda Lee is over here on Facebook also.
Yay! I hope everybody can hear us. I didn't even ask.
Yeah, actually, we didn't ask.
Because it's been a hot minute. So
she couldn't stay connected on the gram, as the kids call it.
Oh.
But that could be because of the blizzard raging outside up there in Nova Scotia. Rhonda Lee, thank you for jumping in and making us truly international.
Yay.
We love you to death. And Josh, our executive producer in charge of hashtags, is in the chat over here on YouTube. This is starting to feel like back to normal.
Yay.
Gosh, where do we begin?
Where do we begin?
Well, let's begin with a beer. I'm sitting here without one, and that's a problem.
We should.
I'm gonna wheel over here to the camera real quick and show you the one we're starting with tonight. This is provided to us courtesy of Rhonda Lee.
Yay, Rhonda Lee!
Right here, guys. I have the technology. I can actually talk and do this.
Yay!
Yeah. This is provided to us by Rhonda Lee, and I'm going to read you just from their website a little quick description
down here to do the Dopey Challenge in January.
Yes.
And we have kept this
ever since. Yes. So Alexander Keith's India Pale Ale, from their website, they say the style is a blonde ale. They claim that this is a 5% ABV beer with only 13 IBU or international bitterness units. And their description: brewed without compromise, taste our heritage in this crisp golden ale with distinct drinkability. Subtle spice and herb notes from the hops and yeast come together over a light cereal grain foundation to provide a fresh, easy drinking ale. The original Nova Scotia ale and the oldest continuously brewed beer in North America. Huh.
I'm sorry, it's the oldest continuously brewed
beer in North America.
Super low IBU.
For an IPA, especially. At least that they're claiming that. So, apparently, I can't wait to see it.
Running Through Wonderland, Jen has joined and she wants to know what's up with the beard.
What's up with the beard? The beard hung around after No Shave November. And
it's March.
It's March now.
It's March.
Yeah. I don't know. Trying it on for size.
I think you're handsome no matter what.
Oh, I don't know about all that.
Yeah.
We're drinking out of glasses provided to us by friends of ours, and these are
Yes.
from Kona Brewing Company.
Shout out to Tim and Lauren.
Yeah. So let's pour this and give it a taste.
We need our own pint glasses. You know, like branded pint glasses.
We do. We actually got some that were laser etched at an event that we went to, but that's not quite the same thing.
We got one that was laser etched, but I don't.
It's somebody else's branded glass, but it has our logo laser etched onto it.
It's Christy Van Allen and maybe her other half as well. I don't know. Susie's here. Buffalo Trace for John Schroeder.
John was able to find Buffalo Trace. That's
good.
There you go.
It's good for him. Chris Twiggs. He says, really miss you guys in Atlanta last weekend, I believe. Completely understand why you weren't able to make it. Yes, which we will catch everybody up on.
Okay. That's not an official tasting. That was just me drinking it down so I don't spill it.
Oh, it's so good to see everybody in the chat. And Dan Rams from the Cape Coral Running Group too.
Excellent.
Yeah. Whoa.
I'm drinking. It doesn't count. I was drinking it down. Cheers.
Okay. Ooh, Rhonda Lee. Did you say you like this better than Moosehead?
I was going to say this is very Moosehead-esque.
This is
light, crisp, not super bitter, though there is a little lingering bitterness. Do
you get that?
This has a little lingering bitterness that Moosehead does not have.
Has anybody else had this one at all? I don't know. Love it.
When Josh says when beer goes international, Rhonda Lee is there.
She brought it to us. I am so excited. And it was so great to meet her in person at the Dopey Challenge and to cheer her on along with Don and with Meg on the cheer squad who knows how to do it right. So Christy, she says, cheers from Coastal Days, currently sipping a mango peach sour after enjoying a creamsicle seltzer.
Is the creamsicle seltzer theirs? Did they...
Yeah, we have no idea.
No. Okay. I'm not normally a big fan of like the seltzers, but creamsicle, anything, I'm usually on board with. I think that's such a great combination. Chocolate and orange and chocolate and vanilla. They go so well together.
Yes.
Okay. Alexander Keith's to me is a slightly hoppier version of Moosehead.
It's Alexander Keith's. Christy was like, can you repeat what you're having?
Oh, let me show you the can.
Yeah.
One more time. For our friends, our local friends who are in an actual brewery tonight.
Right. I can't tag them. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that right there. Hand delivered to us from Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Oh, look at this. What does Rhonda Lee say if you guys come to Nova Scotia?
They do the brewery tour in the old outfits.
Well, can we have an outfit?
No, the employees have the outfits.
Oh, well, can't we dress up for it too? Do something?
You can.
Okay.
I'm just randomly wearing a costume.
Okay.
Thank you, Josh. We've missed it too. We really have.
Oh, they can't see us on Instagram.
Uh-oh.
Hang on. Stand by. Well, Susie says she can't see us.
There might be something going on. Oh, can't see the can on Instagram. Hold on, that's me.
Oh.
I'm sorry. I don't have a camera to reference, so it's difficult.
There.
Amy's taking care of our friends on the gram.
How about that? And just so it's not.
And Rhonda Lee's throwing down the gauntlet. She feels it's better than Moosehead.
It's awesome. I love it.
Listen, I know that Moosehead. I know Moosehead is not exactly what you would call a fancy beer. Okay, Moosehead's not that, but Moosehead has this wonderful, easy drinking breadiness to it that, especially after a run, like say 13 miles at a Disney race, heading over to Canada and grabbing one is absolutely awesome.
I mean, if they had this,
it's a safety sip. See, Josh gets it.
What?
I told you.
The safety sip.
That was not a tasting sip.
I get it. And that's okay. That's okay. Game on.
And Kelly apparently knows what we're talking about. She loves Alexander Keith's. Her boss, a longtime friend, is Canadian and introduced me to it years ago. Yeah.
Haven't had it in a long time. Can anybody actually get it in the US?
Based on their website, everything seems very localized to Canada.
Maybe not.
There may be some boutique places, maybe like we have to check with our friends at Number 3 Craft Brews here in Cape Coral.
Good call. Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe we could try something like Drizzly and see if maybe they deliver. But yeah. So let's catch everybody up. It's been a bit of saga here.
I think this, like Christy says, it's an itchy PA. That's because she can't have them. Yes.
Yeah.
She has an allergy.
I think technically it falls in the IPA family.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think this one's so hoppy that it would be a problem.
No, I think she probably, maybe you could look, Susie, at Total Wine and
maybe
see.
At Total Wine. Yeah.
I don't know, but we got, it's good. And if they had it in Canada, I would be like, here's a Moosehead and here's.
Oh, we would do A/B comparison.
Well, I would have them both.
Well, I know, but I would like to A/B compare.
Also,
I
yes.
think that'd be cool.
Also, yes. So catch people up. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
So kind of like before we had to kind of fall off the live stream bandwagon for a bit, we kind of brought everybody up to speed. They know. And if you listen to this week's episode of the show, you know that, we've been helping Amy's dad go through his cancer treatment at the Moffitt Cancer Center in Tampa, Florida.
Mm-hmm.
And we were absolutely blessed with fantastic news at the end of his treatment cycle. His treatment was a 30-day stint up there, not having to stay in the hospital, but having to stay near the hospital in case of side effects. And I took the final week and took him to his exit PET scan and follow-up. And we were fortunate enough to be given the fantastic news that on the exit PET scan, there were no detectable traces of cancer.
Which we talked about in this week's episode.
Talked about it in the episode.
Yeah. Yeah. And I mean, I think that I can talk about it now and not
tear up.
And I am just hopeful that will be the case at the 60-day mark scan.
Yeah.
When they get to 60, 90 days.
Right. So what they do is you have the exit PET scan, and then he still couldn't drive for 4 weeks afterwards. So we were able to bring him home. He's at home doing his thing, just isn't allowed to drive. But he just went for blood work, and then he has a follow-up up there. And then 60 days out from the day he was out, they do another PET scan. And that's the one we were actually expecting to maybe see something on. They had actually prepped us and said, don't expect to see much change.
No, expect to see stasis, just the same, or just a very slight beginning of the improvement. And we were I think
that kind of
feels so lucky.
And that kind of torqued your dad a little bit.
He was so upset.
He was wanting to see some progress immediately. So we go to the final appointment, and I don't think he was that well. I know that the PA we talked to knew it was good, but didn't know how good. And then she's like, "Yeah, it's gone."
And the PA was shocked also.
Yes, yeah. So he responded incredibly well. But then they do another PET scan in 60 days. So that's the next one that's coming, and then they'll be monitoring him for the next, I think, year.
Fun Size Jen, welcome.
Hello, Fun Size Jen. And again, for those that are joining us late, please drop your name in the chat. Tell us who you are, where you're from, what you're drinking. We are having Alexander Keith's India Pale Ale from Nova Scotia, courtesy of our friend of the show, Rhonda Lee.
Yay.
So,
and Fun Size Jen says, holy LTNS Batman.
Holy long time no see. Yes. So we were just explaining as to part of the reason why. So great news for Amy's dad.
Yes, fantastic news, and just hope that it continues on.
So we had Gasparilla while he was up there. That happened.
We were lucky in that way because we were able to be with him and then trade off and actually meet up with the Runcation Nation, which we loved. To see JoJo and Susie and Dawn and Darlene and Jessica and Your friend from work, Andrea, and
Christy
Christine, Greg,
and
and
Dean
and Judy, and just I don't know if I'm missing anybody in that list.
We probably are,
but
and we don't mean to.
And Fitz, of course,
and Meb.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
the guy we had on our show this week.
Yeah. So, by the way, plug for this week's show. We decided, we're coming back with a gusto, and Meb Kefleski is on this week's episode. If you have not listened yet, please do. We're excited to talk with him, talk about his race that's coming up, and your ability to join our team and be a part of that in Tampa in just a couple of short months.
May.
Yeah.
The first weekend in May.
Great. Thank you, everybody who's dropping comments and congratulating your dad. So that's just awesome.
Oh, I'm going to have to tell him.
So we had that. Then we were lucky enough. Some friends of ours got us a preview for the Tron roller coaster at Disney. And that was 2 weeks ago. So it was just a quick up and back to Disney. We were literally going up on Friday, coming back on Sunday. We had this, that they were able to get us in because we're pass holders, they're pass holders, and they just signed us up. And by the way, you're in if you want to come.
It was very nice of them to do.
And then while we were there, we actually met up with Christy and Greg and Christy's mom, and we had a little friend meet up there.
Raglan Road,
not so much related to the race or to running, but definitely the eating and drinking part.
Of course.
So we go to Raglan Road, and I want to caveat this with I don't think that it had anything to do with Raglan Road.
No, not at all. I don't think it had anything to do with food.
No,
period.
I think what it had to do with was being around, a million people, and it just happens. But one of our friends in the party ended up picking up a little norovirus, and she was sick when she got home that weekend, and was sick for about 4 days. Well, simultaneously, Amy catches it. And that starts.
Well, I don't think I was. I was behind her.
You were a couple days behind her.
Yeah.
And so Amy is down with it, and
it's bad.
Yeah, a very bad stomach virus. We're not going to get into details.
You don't need to know.
And then I'm thinking at this point, because I'm taking care of her, I've dodged the bullet. Not so much. Thursday, a week ago. Yesterday,
yes,
I get home, supposed to start packing for our 6 a.m. flight to Atlanta to go to the Jeff Galloway race, and I am violently ill. And I was like, I can't travel. If you want to go without me, you can, but this isn't happening. And for 5 days, Thursday to Monday, 4 days. I was pretty bad off. Josh, you pretty well nailed it right there with emojis. So yeah. And it was rough because we had to give up, our, of course, there's no refunds on an airline. Let's not get carried away. And fortunately, our friends at Hilton were very good to us.
Yes. So, people of Hilton, not a sponsor of the show
yet.
They have been fantastic through Dad's because we stayed at a Hilton property.
We did.
And during the treatment, and just they have been I can't tell you how supportive their staff
was phenomenal.
And then everybody.
Yeah, shout out to the staff at the Home 2 at University of South Florida.
That's Susie's like, I didn't see you that weekend, thank God.
Well, we don't know how it started or where we caught it, but we did. So that was a pretty rough 4 days, and in the process, we were just having incredible FOMO, looking at all the amazing pictures and recaps from people who did the Jeff Galloway race. But I was happy to see
milers
that everybody still got that taste of wintry air because
it was cold.
It was sub 30 degrees at the start.
I think Roxanne was wearing a mask.
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yes.
To start, and just they were all just bundled up, and yes.
So it was still a chilly one, apparently. And apparently, poor Atlanta didn't know what to do because it's not only freezing cold, but they were still having a crazy high pollen count because the plants were like, it's spring. No, it's
Yay.
not.
What? I don't know what to do.
Yeah. So I'm sorry we missed it.
Very
I know
sorry.
Chris was in the chat a little bit ago.
He's still here.
Oh, great. I mean,
he's having a Bud Light, by the way.
We love that race. We love you guys up there. Y'all do such an amazing job every year. And that's one we're going to do.
Chris wore a Tyvek onesie for the first mile, he said.
Oh, interesting. That's a good idea, actually.
Yeah, I would like to see a picture of that.
Well, he probably looked like he was going to cook meth, like the guys in Breaking Bad.
Ooh. Wake up, Disney. That's James J. Williams is here.
James J. Williams. Hello, sir.
Yeah. Cheers.
Josh knows the feeling from missing Donna. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, exactly.
Me too.
Exactly.
Me too, because I was where I needed to be, but that was not at Donna.
Right.
Yes.
Not this year.
Yeah.
So that catches everybody up to this past week.
Mm-hmm.
We literally got to where, well, I finally just said, I'm either going to the hospital or this is going to work. So I take myself to Publix and, God bless Jamie Lee Curtis. I got like 2 12-packs of Activia yogurt and all the cottage cheese I could stand, and was able to get myself back to where I could be vertical and talk and all that. And because Amy's like, and Meb wants to talk to us at 11 a.m. tomorrow. I'm like, okay.
I mean, when he says this is when I'm available,
you make yourself available.
Of course. It's like with Jeff.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I understand this.
Yeah.
So
Heisenberg.
Yes. So that catches everybody up. That got us through this week's episode that's in the feed.
Yeah.
And then getting back to work and kind of a relatively normal schedule.
Mm-hmm.
Still having to do a lot of parental support at home because Dad's not allowed to drive yet.
Not allowed to drive, and Mom doesn't drive.
And Mom doesn't drive.
Nope.
So but we're like, by God, we're going to get back on a regular production schedule. So here we are. You're caught up. All the news that's fit to print.
Chris Twigg says it was a combination of Breaking Bad and Frozen. Yeah.
That is a combination.
There you go.
But that's an awesome idea because you could wear a Tyvek onesie. They're not expensive and throw it away. And
I didn't even know it existed until
you can get them at Home Depot.
Okay. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. And then you just kind of ditch it.
Right. I mean, if you're looking for something that's to ditch, because I mean, I don't know.
People do in races.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember if that race has like an organized group that grabs clothing for donation or not.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Chris, maybe you could tell us.
It's a good question. I know they do at Disney.
Yes. Several other races.
I think Donna, maybe. But at any rate, yeah.
But so now you guys are caught up.
I've ripped it off during the run. We use them for our first responders at the onset of COVID. The
Tyvek stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Yep. Absolutely.
Live and learn.
Mm-hmm.
I learn something new every time we do a chat. So literally ripped.
Did you feel a little bit like Hulk Hogan?
Like like Superman.
Or Superman.
Like Superman, I think. Because I think of Chris Twiggs and I think of Superman. All of the people that he has helped through customized training achieve goals. It was very nice to see Kevin Gwynn. I think it was Roxanne that broadcasted his little speech at their dinner.
Oh, I think you were more able to have FOMO. I was busy dying. And
you survived. I nursed you to health, man.
But I mean, I was worse off at that point in time. You were watching videos. I was just not able to do that. It was rough.
It was very nice, his speech and the everything that Kevin and Chris and all the extra miles and everybody put together. It was great. Cheryl says she's only here for a minute while she waits for her dinner order, but she wanted to say hello.
Hello, Cheryl.
She looks fabulous. She's been wearing some great sunglasses and some great apparel, and she looks like she's studying hard. So yeah. So
awesome.
Welcome back, Susie. So we are keeping the streak alive for the next show, for the next actual show in the podcast feed, because we had somebody call in a shout out for multiple people in the Runcation Nation.
Yes.
So I am excited.
Don't give it away.
I will not give it away who or what was said. Everybody should be subscribed in your favorite.
Well, we don't want you to miss an episode.
Podcatcher.
Yeah.
As you like to say.
You're just seeing if you remember saying it correctly. Podcatcher. Yes, podcatcher.
Or you could say podcast app.
Well, you could.
Also.
That doesn't flow.
Okay, podcatcher. At any rate, wherever you subscribe, or if you...
We're just very out of practice.
Go to runnydrink.net, you could.
Well, all of our episodes are still there.
Yeah.
I'm holding out hope, and I keep saying I need to go in there and delete all the video from the feed and re-upload the video to patrons only. But I am holding out hope that eventually Spotify will open up video to everybody. They've been saying they're going to for over a year.
And we were thinking, oh, great. So we don't have to do anything. So we've been waiting.
We've been waiting. Now, we did change the way we encode the podcast. It went from from an MP4 to an MP3. We're all compliant for them for that, but we haven't taken the video out of the feed yet.
No. So John says, I'm looking into getting Whoop.
It's a wrist armband that records everything your body does. Like a watch.
But more data.
Interesting.
And golfers use it.
I've not heard of that. I would be curious to find out more. I'm actually trying something out right now that is pretty interesting, called Lumen.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to do an in-depth review for all of the patrons on the Lumen. Yeah. And what that is, just a real quick synopsis is if you're doing like a keto diet or a carnivore diet, a lot of times people use urinalysis test strips, keto strips, to pee on and see if they're in benign dietary ketosis. What? What do you call it?
Nothing. I'm letting you do all the talking.
Okay. Well, this is a device instead that actually measures your level of ketosis based on, based on your carbon dioxide in your breath, in your exhalation.
So stay tuned for that if you are a patron on Patreon or Buy Me a Coffee.
Yes. Patreon, Buy Me a Coffee, or actually technically also in Podbean, because you can be a patron there.
All the things, yes.
But that one is, I think that one's going to be pretty interesting because I've been playing around with it for a few weeks now, and I've got some good data on that because I've been changing up the diet a little bit. Like I went to the opposite end of the spectrum. We went from talking with Juliana and Ray about plant-based eating, and now I'm pretty, except for the beer tonight, I'm pretty hardcore carnivore, and have been for a little bit. Except when I'm being bad for the show for scientific reasons.
When you're exploring, indulging
for the show,
celebrating accomplishments, it's not necessarily being bad.
Right. Excuse me. We're going to reframe it, and we're going to, yes, that's correct. So, so I've got the scientific data points.
So Cheryl had to go. She's got dinner, but
have a good dinner, Cheryl.
John Schroeder says it's pricey monthly. And Christy says she has friends who use it that are athletes that have Apple Watches and use it as a backup, as a consistent and reliable backup.
Nice. Well, and I mean, you could. It's a good alternative, and I've been, I was two fisting the Apple Watch and the Garmin for a long time.
Yes, you were.
And the final verdict on that is that they're both really good at what they do. I think Apple's come a long way on their app, but
Yeah.
I'd be curious about that Whoop.
Greg has joined.
Greg.
Yes.
Hello, Greg.
Yes.
Excellent.
So
let's see. Podcatcher sounds like something from an alien movie.
Yes, it does. It's a podcast.
Yes.
It's a podcast.
It's a Leo Laporte term.
Yes.
So
I remember.
I'm borrowing it from the man, the myth, the legend.
I remember driving and listening to him and him referring to that. But didn't he also call them netcasts?
He tried. He tried his best. He was trying to change the narrative about a podcast is a netcast, and he just couldn't get that to catch on.
Mm-hmm.
Too late,
Yes.
So,
Dawn, be joyful.
Is Dawn still in the chat?
Are you still in the chat? Because it's time for us. We have been now to the Great White North.
We have.
And we thoroughly enjoyed it. So again, Rhonda Lee, thank you.
Yep. And for those that joined us late, our first beer of the evening was Alexander Keith's India Pale Ale, 5% ABV, 13 IBU. So few IBU. I'm surprised you could even call it an IPA.
It's really not that bitter. She's still here.
So,
and
yes.
it's not that bitter or hoppy. It's very akin to Moosehead.
I dig it.
Very.
I'm a fan.
Very. So Dawn is here. She's ready. And
Okay.
we have told this brewery that we are of legal drinking age. So
okay, I got to tell you, while you're pouring that, show the can off to everybody.
Well, yeah, let me get up.
We are having a beer from NOLA Brewing, and this is an American stout made with English hops. It's called Irish Channel Stout. And actually, their description on the website is an American stout from an Irish neighborhood made with English hops that's enjoyed on Frenchman Street. That's hilarious. I love it. Irish Channel Stout. American Stout is the style. 6.8% ABV. 41 IBU. Available all year round. And it's their description. If you love beer, chances are you love stouts. If you brew beer, it's likely you have a stout in your repertoire. And if you happen to brew beer in a neighborhood called the Irish Channel, you'd be a fool if you didn't name your stout Irish Channel Stout. I have to agree with almost all of that.
Okay.
This beer is our love letter to our neighborhood. Settled in the 19th century by immigrants from the birthplace of the stout, the Irish Channel is beautiful and beguiling, maybe a little scruffy, but always charming and flawed in all the right ways, just like us. It's also it's home to one of the world's greatest St. Patrick's Day celebrations, where the Irish Channel Stout flows like the River Shannon. Tasting notes: smooth, rich, dark, and delicious. Strong espresso front end with a touch of baker's chocolate on the finish. Balanced with a crisp bitterness produced by American hops and roasted barley. They use Kent Golding, Newport, and U.S. Golding hops. They use brown chocolate, dark Munich, extra dark crystal, pale, and roasted barley malts. And it's available in half keg, sixtel, 16-ounce 4-pack cans, and on draft. So I'm very excited. This is a lot of information for, from these guys about their beer.
It's true. What did you say the IBU was?
I'm going to have to go back and reread. Hold on. 6.8. 6.8. Yes.
6.8 is the ABV.
Yes.
And then
41 IBU. And I like what Josh says. Those Cajuns can't be wrong. Rhonda Lee, that the can is actually very cool. The Celtic knot and the cross is pretty awesome.
I like it.
Yeah.
It's the can art is very nice. Chris says, I think I'm seeing scruffy but charming on the screen right now.
That's me. And there are worse things to be called.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie.
It's distinguished, right? For men to have the beard,
and for
the
what it's
salt and
worth,
pepper beard.
okay, scruffy would imply that this is not a finely coiffed beard. It's just not that long right now. I had to knock it down a little bit for work, but
Why? You have guidelines, you have rules.
We actually do have rules. Yeah.
You have rules for
we have a
beard.
specific section of our uniform policy that pertains to beard length and
apparently
and height away from your face.
Interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Interesting. Yeah.
Cajuns can't be wrong. Josh is right.
What? What does he mean?
He just says those Cajuns can't be wrong.
Wow.
All right.
All right.
I don't need a safety sip this time. So
I apparently don't either.
That color is dark. There you go. There you go.
Sláinte.
And we're doing Gate River Run glasses.
Happy St. Patrick's Day. It's like about Jacksonville and all the places that we didn't. Ooh, Dawn says it's also pretty good as an ice cream beer float.
Oh.
We need that. We haven't had that since early Nice Guys days.
That's true.
Ugh.
Okay. Light to medium body, heavy carbonation.
Yes.
I think their description, espresso heavy on the front, a little hint of chocolate on the back end.
There's bitterness.
And a little bit of tartness.
Yeah.
But that is delightful.
Oh, well, listen. Christy has taken Dawn's suggestion to the next level and says,
I can't read that from here.
Butter pecan or pecan.
Ice cream?
Yeah.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And Greg says Scruffy is fine as long as
it's not followed
by Nerf Herder.
Oh, scruffy looking Nerf Herder. Yeah, I would take that, actually.
Mm-hmm.
If it's good enough for Han Solo, it's good enough for me.
Right.
Dawn, we might have to place orders with you every time we're meeting up now.
Nice.
This is fantastic. Now, a lot of people haven't had a lot of exposure to stouts.
I like it.
If you have Guinness and you have it in a nitro can, you don't get the bite from carbonation, so it's very smooth. This is carbonated, so this has a little bit of the carbonation bite.
Mm-hmm. It doesn't have the nitro.
It doesn't have a nitro. Mm-hmm. This on nitro would be phenomenal.
I think so. Nitro, and also with the ladies' suggestions of the beer float.
Listen, the beer float.
Let's go.
And butter pecan. We did it the reverse way once. We had a butter pecan beer.
Yes.
That was a Southern tier.
Yeah.
Butter pecan.
Very good.
And Nice Guys Pizza did a beer float with that, or a beer shake with that.
So good.
And it was ridiculous.
So good. But I mean,
thank you, Trip. See if someone's in my team here.
I said distinguished. How am I not on your team?
Talking about the audience.
Okay.
Touch of class to offset the dysfunctional shenanigans. Truth. Were we able to partake of the Nice Guys St. Patrick's Day pizza?
No.
Not this year. No. I threw caution to the wind the other night, and I went from I haven't had solid food in days. Help me, Jamie Lee Curtis. Help me. To Leroy Jenkins, and I'd had 2 Chicago dogs at a sitting when we were at
Christy and
Coastal
Greg
Days with Christy and Greg.
Attest to that.
I just decided to take my gastrointestinal tract on a test run.
Let's go.
Yeah,
let's go.
and it seemed to be fine. I didn't die, and it all stayed where it was supposed to be. So that was good. Yeah,
we were okay.
Yeah. You seemed fine. Like you didn't even seem like you were scared of it. I was scared of it.
But we were fine.
Yeah.
We emerged victorious.
Yeah.
So
Leroy Jenkins.
Apparently. I like this.
If you don't get that reference, Google it. There's a good video.
It's a Guinness that's not slightly that's not as smooth because it's got the like you said, the higher intensity carbonation.
Well, this has CO2 as opposed to nitrogen.
So it's not as smooth. And it's got that lingering bitterness.
What this reminds me of, if you wanted an analog for Guinness, like say you can't get this where you're at because you don't have access to Dawn Be Joyful and her amazing beer that she brought us.
Yay!
If you were to go to your store or your package store and you got the Guinness Extra Stout in the bottles, that's not the nitro, or
fair.
It'll say Guinness Extra Stout, and a lot of times it will say foreign extra stout. That one's carbonated, not on nitro. And yeah, that one might give you a good example of it. I am a stout fan, period. You get a little more body in a stout than you do in a porter.
You do.
But this is not so thick or heavy on the mouthfeel as to be like really weighty. This one you could have with a meal.
With a burger or with some corned beef and cabbage.
Oh, well, of course.
Because Christy's saying she was so hoping for the St. Patty's reboot and to get some Reuben pizza, but apparently it was only last Friday for 9 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
I know. Certain specials, certain foods just hearken to the specific celebratory holiday, not necessarily one from work, because you know.
I do.
I mean, you just want them, and they are very associative.
100%.
Yeah, it's like certain things for Thanksgiving for me, but also then St. Patrick's Day, you think of something, and it's, or like a cookout the 4th of July, and you think hot dogs, hamburgers. That's very
you have certain holidays have to have certain foods. 100%.
Emily, welcome.
And by the way, I was before St. Patrick's Day looking at corned beef. If you were wanting to buy one to take home and make,
super expensive,
crazy expensive. You can get them like half price now. Stores can't get rid of them fast enough. They were like,
so we should just do like a delayed.
We should.
Thanks. The St. Patrick's Day.
We absolutely should.
Yeah. So Emily has joined the party.
Well, hello, Emily.
Yes.
Welcome. Cheers. Yes. For those joining us late, we are having a delicious Irish Channel Stout from Nola Brewing,
courtesy of Dawn. She likes it when we say her last name, Broussard.
Do we get it right?
I don't know.
We're going to have you call us and pronounce it correctly.
She did it at Gasparilla because she was so kind to be, well, all the ladies were, but she was so kind to stay with me the entire time and kind of pace me to make sure that I would make it to the end of the 15K so that I could do the 5K on the heels of it. And she was telling me about it. She was telling me about, we heard it and we thought it was funny when you said it, when we talked about Festival of the Arts. And apparently that same brewery is back for the Flower and Garden Festival at Disney. So
yes, they are.
She said, and I said, did we get it wrong? And she said, no, I don't know if she was being polite though. She might be.
It's okay if we're getting it wrong. Please tell us, because we can mutilate. I can mutilate Smith.
Welcome, Janine.
Yes. Josh says we have yet to see an animal in the feed. Please report. The animals have passed out behind us on the floor.
Here.
They're in the studio, but they are not partaking or participating tonight for some reason.
Do you hear them on the most recent episode? I can't remember.
I think you hear one of them scratching at one point for a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or like just shaking. So, St. Patty's 2.0 at Celtic Ray in Punta Gorda.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Celtic Ray.
Oh, Dawn says we're saying it perfectly. I don't know if she's so nice. So I don't know if she's just saying that to be nice.
Now Amy's never going to believe that we're saying it correctly. Just saying that. She's going to say that you're just being nice.
She's lovely. And we have other things to try from Dawn, as well as other things to try from Rhonda Lee and from Darlene.
We do.
So
you guys were very good to us.
Yes. And we can't thank you all enough. The love from Gasparilla has just kept me going through all of this recovery, etc.
And Josh says it's Broussard for those in Boston.
Broussard. I wonder if Meg would agree. She messaged me and she said, I won't be able to make the live, but I love you guys. And I'm so glad you're back. And I hope it goes well. So I wonder what she would say. Probably agree with Josh.
Well, we are at that time of year where we're going to start a live and it's going to be like really bright and lighting's going to be like kind of okay. And then this side of my
daylight
face,
saving.
Yeah. And then like, as we go for the hour, it gets like dark and like weird. So sorry, the lighting.
Which is the best side? Well, you don't have a bad side. All the sides are good.
Yeah.
All that, but I may have. I know. Is it the right? Is it the left? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Let me know. So we have to make up for lost race experiences.
We do. What's coming up on our calendar? Let's see.
Springtime
surprise
and Meb's race.
So far. Which, by the way, again, we alluded to it earlier in the show. If you have not listened to this week's episode, if you do, you're going to learn about a new race you can come run, and
or do it virtually,
or listen. Hold on,
but you should come.
Slow your roll.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Because if you can come to Tampa, you should come to Tampa. Meb Keflezighi's inaugural race is going to be in Tampa. Yeah. And he's going to be doing distances of 5K
and 10K.
And 10K.
Plus a 1 mile fun run.
1 mile fun run for the kids. Yeah.
Well, for families. So,
right.
Yeah.
Well, when they say families, they generally mean kids, like little kids.
He's just being
salty.
It's tough tonight with him. I don't know. Gosh. Okay. So, yes. So everybody should do it.
Yeah. So learn more about that race in this week's episode.
Runningdrink.net.
Runningdrink.net. Subscribe in your favorite podcatcher, which is the best way to not miss an episode of the show. We are back on a regular production schedule. Just a little report. I was having tendinitis before Gasparilla. Gasparilla did not help my tendinitis. And
the outfit was challenging enough.
Oh God. Yeah. Full costume.
It was great.
Full
it was
pirate
great.
Costume.
But it was challenging.
In 80+ degree weather, no shade, untested costume, and coming off of a night of drinking way more than I should have, thanks to Christy and Greg.
Members of the Runcation Nation who support your exploring and indulging.
I'm just saying that there are some people who listen to this show that are bad influences. That's all I'm saying.
No, they are in the exploring and indulging camp
phase. Well, yes. And they had already run. So yeah.
The outfit was fabulous, Don says.
The outfit was something.
I love it. Oh. I know you were like, never again.
I don't know. Anyway, point is, I've been trying to.
Not a bad influence. It's a hashtag. Greg is supporting Josh's hashtags.
Yeah. Okay, Greg. Whatever you say.
This would be good with some Tullamore Dew. Speaking of.
Oh, heck yeah.
Yeah. We have to make up for lost time at.
We do.
The springtime surprise weekend, at Meb's race, and then we need to travel.
Well.
Yeah.
I know that we have something lined up.
We do.
Yeah. But not for this year.
For 2024.
Yeah.
But we'll update the website.
We'll talk more later.
Yeah. I mean, we're both coming. We're both coming from injury. Injury.
Yeah. Speaking of, Amy's getting an injury checked out tomorrow.
Yeah.
More to report on that later on.
Sure.
But,
yes.
I
think we're gonna do a love letter episode next. No. But I think he retired.
He did retire. I'm pretty sure.
So, but we're going to do a love letter episode to Jeff's race.
Yes.
Because we couldn't come.
We couldn't be there. was so sad.
I know.
Prior to that weekend, I started Googling St. Patrick's Day celebrations in Atlanta. I wanted to go hit some places.
Limerick Junction.
In addition to Limerick Junction, I want to go to Smith's Old Bar, maybe Dark Horse Tavern. I still want to get some Fox Brothers barbecue on the show. I don't know if that's the right thing to get that weekend.
Not necessarily, but also on the list.
Man.
Yeah. And there's some breweries we have yet to hit that we need to. This is just little
all ASW distilling.
Yeah, this is building up to 2024.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're coming back. That's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's just we hated missing it. So this week's episode coming up is going, like you said, a love letter to that race.
Yeah.
So looking forward to doing that one. And we would love to hear from anybody out there in the Runcation Nation that ran the race.
Yes.
Shoot us a message. Tell us what you thought of it, how it was. Did you go anywhere afterward?
Give us a little audio that we could play.
And you can do that by giving us a call at 941-677-2733. That's 941-677-2733. Leave us a voicemail. Keep it to about a minute or so. Just let us know, what was the race like for you? How cold were you? Where'd you go? That kind of thing.
I would have loved the weather.
You would have.
I would have loved the weather.
Or
you could email us at info@runeatdrink.net. That's info@runeatdrink.net. We can play a voice memo. We can read a written email.
Yeah.
Keep it going. 2023 has been
you guys have been awesome
year for shout outs and submissions. So
yeah. Really
thank you. And thank you for tonight. Really.
Yeah. This was a great way to get back into it. We're coming right up to the top of the hour. Timing's perfect. We started almost on time tonight. It would not be a Running Drink podcast live stream if we started on time.
I had to aim the camera.
We can't do that, but
that's the problem.
It was fantastic to get back in the saddle, see you guys, talk with all of you. Thank you for jumping in here.
John Bagliati.
John, welcome.
Cheers, man. We're having an Irish stout.
As we're closing it out, let me do this.
No one here acted like they loved the weather, but there were a lot of PRs.
Yeah. Funny how that works. If you're training in the heat and all of a sudden you get a nice cold snap like that.
Yes. Yeah. I was so looking forward to it. And just we're going to keep it going next year. 2024 is going to be my year.
Well, we'll see what month Jeff decides to have the race next year.
Well, that's true. But
I'm gonna tell you right now, if he goes later than March, Chris, he needs to get sponsored by Benadryl. I lived in Atlanta for 7 years. That ain't gonna fly. Okay. Just saying. And starting in April, that is not doable. So keep it to that January, February, March time frame. Just saying.
Bagliani's having Woodford Reserve.
Oh,
God.
Kind of feeling like
I'm saving some of this.
That would
Dawn, I'm saving some of this, and I might try some Tullamore doing this.
Oh, it's probably not going to suck.
How it is.
Just to recap, as we're about to sign off, guys, we of course are currently having Irish Channel Stout from NOLA Brewing, courtesy of Dawn Be Joyful, friend of the show. Thank you, Dawn, for bringing us this. And our international friend of the show, Rhonda Lee, brought us Alexander Keith's IPA as well.
Yay.
So 2 amazing beers from 2 amazing ladies.
Up north, down south.
We got all of North America covered here.
Chris says if he puts it in August, it'll probably snow. I'm ready. I'm all about it if it's going to be cold. If it's going to be cold, I am there. You're winning.
Truthfully, okay, having lived in Atlanta, you normally get like maybe 2 days of snow a year, 2 to 5, and it's usually no more than 3 inches, but it is enough to shut the city down. And I remember a couple of years back, they had moved Jeff's race, I think, by a week, and we missed Snowmageddon.
Yeah, we saw
and there was still snow
on the ground
in the shaded patches in the park and everything. It was still snow on the ground. but it was like 28 or 26 degrees at
great.
the start line.
It was
Yeah,
great.
Amy's loving it.
It was great.
Yeah, I am
Great.
not only am I like bundled up, but I've also got a poncho on. So
I had a poncho on.
I'm sweating and I
It was
have
great.
no breathable outer layer. So by the end of it, I'm soaked from sweat and freezing. It was great.
Fabulous.
She PR'd.
I'm ready. 2024, bring it on.
So,
yes.
With that, it is now 8:00, guys. Thank you for joining us here on Friday Night Live with the Run Eat Drink podcast. New episode will be in the feed Tuesday. Please check it out. The current episode is up now where we talk with Meb Kufleski.
And we can't thank him enough.
Thank you, Meb.
Yes.
And thank you guys for joining us tonight.
Can't wait.
Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Yeah. New episode, new live stream. Thanks for hanging out with us tonight, guys.
We missed you. It's great to be back.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.